It's starting. Come on.
I'm liking your background. I'm kind of feeling like I'm in some tropical island. All the shutters. Great.
It blocks out the industrial look that I have going on. Well, it's taking a while to start today. Does it say, yeah,
Yeah.
it says starting for me, but it's not actually going on. Why is that?
Yeah, it's not coming on from my end either.
No. This has never happened before. It goes straight on and within about 5 seconds.
I hope I'm not jinxing it.
No. No, not at all. Let's see. If that's the case, what I might do is I'm going to go into failed to go live. I just got a note. Failed to go live. We're going to keep trying, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hit start again. So something's going on from Google Plus's end. So here we go. Hit start.
Didn't even recognise myself there for a while. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you. Now, Andrew, I am going to just see if you are on, and I'm happy to take it from here if you are not on. So we'll give it a test. I think you're on mute.
Oh,
Uh, he's there, I think.
Hey, hey.
No, he's on mute. Poor guy. All right, guys, so here, let's get started with this first question. So we love to have our guests tell us a little bit about their journey. So obviously the Web Celeb is a really cool name. We've been telling people about you, and that, for lack of a better word, you're really great at networking, connecting, and getting people's brand out there. And so talk to us about where you've come from and how you've gotten to be known as the Web Celeb.
Wow. So where I started originally, believe it or not, is in corporate. So I owned for about 15 years a corporate training company that specialized in human behavior, in particular culture and leadership and team dynamics. So I spent, as I said, 15 years working with corporates, had a large organization, had about 30 staff, offices around Australia and New Zealand. And the older I was getting, the more I was realizing I actually had fallen out of love with my industry, believe it or not. I've got a strong background in organizational psychology, qualifications as long as your arm, experience in the human behavior space. But what I found was that I was being a complete fake Heather. I was going into corporates, I was helping leaders to become influential and persuasive and change their mindset and behavior in companies that I wouldn't be seen dead working in. And as I got older, I started thinking, here I am trying to help people internally within a company that you would not see me working for. And I was in a health retreat one day. I'd been working 100 hours a week for months on months, and I said, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I actually believe that my passion and drive is in little people, in the small businesses, teaching them how to punch above their weight, how to build their own empire, And so I had this crazy idea after 15 years of only ever working in training and education to sell my business. And so in June 2007, I put my business on the market after 15 years and surprise, surprise, managed to sell it on the 26th of September 2007, the day that we, Geelong Football Club in Australia, won the grand final after many, many years. So it was an omen. And then all of a sudden the GFC came in, so it was great timing for me to get out of being in that corporate space, having big offices and big salaries. The only problem was, Heather, is I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up after leaving an industry. I forgot to worry about, well, now what are you going to do? So that's how I started, and then I decided, well, I'm cashed up, I'm going to go on a learning sabbatical. I need a bit of a tax break, and so I decided to take 12 months off and just completely self-indulge in training and educating myself. And I remember typing in to the browser, lifestyle business, work from home, and up popped all these courses that were teaching people how to use the internet. Now, I didn't even know how to spell the internet. I didn't even know what social media was. In fact, when you were reading out all the television shows I've appeared on, I actually was on the Channel 9 morning show, and this is how backward I was with social. I thought that it was called MyFace. So I didn't call it Facebook or MySpace. On live television, I called it MyFace. So anyway, so what I did is I went to America, where everyone goes, and I pretty much spent 12 months in the US in 2008, 2009, and found that it was a whole new world out there, that the whole country's Wi-Fi'd and it was all social and digital. And I decided, with my background in human behavior and my absolute passion for wanting to know what makes people think and what turns them on and what has them gravitating to this beast called social media, that I decided that imagine if I could have the intersection of psychology with technology, that I might be able to create a business in this online space. And now here we are in 2014, and that's exactly what I do, helping businesses use the internet, in particular the social web, to build their brand and to build a public profile. So yeah, very different.
Yeah, very, very different. And I love your story of saying the word. Yeah, exactly. It's gold. What have you been up to recently that's exciting? What are some of the cool projects that you have going on with your business?
Wow, I've got so many cool projects going on. A couple that have launched and one that's about to launch next week. But I'm really proud this year I became a published author. So on the 30th of April, after of having this manuscript sitting on my Mac for years, I finally published my book called Facebook Friends with Benefits. So it's a cheeky 5-step strategy for using Facebook to grow your business. And the whole notion around Friends with Benefits is it's about treating strangers like our friends, and then they end up becoming our customers. So that was launched on the 30th of April, which was fantastic. And then what I've just brought out last week is a follow-on from the book, where I've created a Facebook Business Bootcamp, which is a 3-hour e-learning program to support the theory that is included in my book. So they were 2 massive big projects. And I'm working on one at the moment. You just got to watch this space, which is going to be a game. I've just about been appointed as a marketing director of a pretty cool international company, where my role will be to roll out a mobile game in the education science space. So when that comes off, it's going to be huge. So yeah, 2014, I'd say, would be my biggest year probably since 2007 when I sold my business. So been an amazing, crazy year, and here we are sitting here in August heading towards Christmas. So yeah, fun times.
Wow, you really are a mover and shaker. You're, guys who are listening, she's one of these people that is just sort of everywhere, those connectors, those really vibrant personalities. Last time we saw you, Kylie, actually was in Melbourne. We were at one of these interesting investors little cocktail parties, little talks, and sure enough, you walk in and Kylie just owns the space. Now, Kylie, really quickly before I go on, I have to ask you, you have sort of this personal brand, this particular way of dressing that people recognize you for. What is it that you always wear that makes you stand out?
Well, and I'm not wearing it today. I'm kind of going rock chick today. And it was interesting because one of the questions was, what did people don't know about you? And it's about, I wanted to be a rock star when I was a child, but I couldn't sing, so I became a speaker instead. So I kind of got out the leather rock chick outfit today because it's Friday, it's Friday in Australia, but I am known for my wrap dresses. I love a good wrap dress, bright colours, and you know, I understand the psychology of branding, and so it's very rare that you'll see me out of a wrap dress, and it's very rare that you won't see me with a glass of bubbles in my hand, and that is very much part of my signature and about being recognisable, whether that be on or offline. A lot of people have said that they've seen me at events, they've never met me before, but they saw the wrap dress and knew it had to be Kylie Bartlett. And so I think that is the importance of building a personal brand. It's having that repetition and consistency. It's like Coca-Cola have always had the same colour and Nike have the same logo. And I think we as personal brands can follow a lot in the footsteps of corporates and how they do build their brand consistently. We can take a lot from that, I believe, as personal people in the personal branding space as well.
Absolutely, and that's why I had to bring that up, because you're certainly memorable. Now, what's one tool, resource, or app that you absolutely cannot live without right now?
You know, it's interesting. When I knew you were going to ask me this question, I was trying to get all techo and really clever and come up with something that no one would know about. But can I be really honest and declare that I couldn't live without Facebook? I couldn't live without my Facebook app. I sleep with my iPhone. I know I probably shouldn't say this, under my pillow. It's the first thing I look at in the morning. It's the last thing I look at before I go to bed. And when anyone wants to contact me, they don't ring me, they don't text me, they don't email me. They just send me a private message on Facebook because they know that my phone isn't going to be very far away from my reach. So for me, I love Facebook for both business and for pleasure. And it's I try and take myself off it throughout the day, but I do find myself sneaking a quick little look in between meetings or something like that. And also Dropbox. I really love Dropbox. And now you think back, you're saying Andrew's poor hard drive died on his Mac. I mean, imagine before Dropbox, that would be really scary. But now that we've got cloud applications, the thought of having your hard drive blow up isn't quite as bad when you can just go and log onto another computer and download your files. So they're probably my two, Facebook and Dropbox. I think I'd struggle without having access to those.
I love it. So I am going to try and get Andrew back in on the conversation. We're going to give it a go, Andrew. You are muted now, but let's see if you can get in and say hi. No? So guys, I think what you're seeing, I know, we can all see Andrew sitting there as a little face down at the bottom right of your screen, and he's pantomiming along with gestures and smiling faces and some.
The first time I've seen Andrew lost for words. He can't respond.
I know, it's absolutely killing him. I can see it written all over his face. Now we've already kind of covered the whole thing of what is one thing that people don't know about you. So is that it? Is it the fact that you wanted to be a rock star or want to be a rock star?
Oh, look, I think every girl sings Oh, hang on, I can hear Andrew. He's back on the air. Yay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
My mute button is still on. It tells me it's still on, so I have no idea what's going on today. I'm just anti-technology.
It's all right.
Anyway, we've got you now. So to answer your question, as I was saying, I believe that a lot of girls, don't they, sing into their hair dryers or into their brushes and want to be a rock star. I did, but to be honest, one thing people probably wouldn't know about me is that I was diagnosed with having a learning disability when I was at school and was put into, we called it back then, the veggie maths and English classes, and I ran away from home and lived on the streets for a while and really did subscribe to this whole belief that I was a bit of a dummy and never going to make anything of my life. And I found out later on in life, in my early 20s, in fact, I didn't have a learning disability. I was diagnosed with entrepreneurism and that I needed to embrace my working for myself and not fitting into a traditional education system. And not a lot of people know that I actually haven't been born with a silver spoon in my mouth and didn't come through academia. I did it the tough way at School of Hard Knocks, and here I am today, still pushing the boundaries and still challenging the education system and challenging what's possible in our own lives, and that not to subscribe and buy into what others might believe that we can achieve.
Nicely said. So now, guys, this is the part of the show where we're going to give you 3 simple tips that you can action right now in your life or business based on Kylie's extraordinary past experience. And so, Kylie, over to you. What are 3 simple tips that you'd like to share with everybody?
You know, mine is around, the first one is get really, really clear on what you want to achieve in business and then just actually be disciplined enough to follow through. What I have found with with the internet being so accessible and social media, we can often start with a dream or a vision of what we want to achieve in our business, and then we're attracted to these bright, shiny objects on the side of the road, and we see great opportunities because the internet has it's taken down barriers. It's very cheap as an entry point to start a business, and I see so many people registering URLs and off trying to find the next get-rich-quick opportunity. And in fact, what I'm saying is get really, really clear on what you want to achieve and be so singular and disciplined that you actually take that to shore, rather than pivoting and deviating and trying to find something else that might earn you money. You probably were right on the money to start with. Live by your passion and be absolutely disciplined around following through. Now, you may get to shore and find you don't like the shore that you're on, but at least you've actually seen something through, and instead of bobbing around in the ocean and never actually bringing the ship into shore. So that would be my first tip in business, is get really, really clear on your why, because I can tell you that we do ride these highs and lows, and when we're kind of superficially attached to what we want to do in business, as soon as we hit our first stumbling block or obstacle, we give in and we throw in the towel. But when you're aligned very much to what you were truly born to do and are passionate about, you can actually get motivated by a challenge, because you go, I'm going to knock that brick wall down or knock that obstacle out of the way and keep moving forward. So it's about getting clear would be step number one. Step two is actually writing up your plans as well. Like, you start with the end in mind. And one of the biggest learnings, and it's kind of meshing in another question that you're going to ask around what was my biggest learning. My biggest learning in the business that I sold is that you must start with the end in mind. And I didn't. And I built a big business with 30 staff turning over multiple millions. The problem is that it was branded me. And so when I went to sell my business, and the gentleman that ended up buying it, and he did his due diligence, he went and spoke to all my training customers and said, well, what did you think of Pinnacle Training? And the embarrassing things they said was, we don't even know who Pinnacle is. Kylie could call her business whatever she wants, but we buy training from Kylie. And so that reduced my sell price significantly, because when I'm exiting out of a business, I'm not going to be there anymore, which meant that it wasn't as valuable. So the other step two, and kind of like answering what was my biggest learning, is about start with the end in mind and have your exit strategy and have systems and processes in place so that it's not going to reduce your asset, because you have actually built a business brand. Now, having said that, Heather, if it is about building a lifestyle business and you are your brand, which is very much what I am now, then embrace that and exploit it and do what you can. So that's tip number two. And tip number three for me is about exploit your strengths and outsource your limitations. So we can often want to be everything and be on the tools and trying to bootstrap it, but in fact it's actually stopping us from growing our business. I learned very quickly when I became in the tech space is that it's a lot cheaper and a lot more efficient for me to outsource coding or outsource building a website or editing a video than me trying to do it all internally. My biggest asset is my ability to network and engage and speak, and so that's what I do, and everything else I outsource, including my cooking and my cleaning and everything, to free my days up so that I can then exploit what I'm best at, and that is connecting and communicating. So yeah, there's probably my three tips.
Really good tips, and especially the last one. I mean, Andrew and I are always saying that on our podcast and everything else that we do. We've seen so many entrepreneurs come to us and try and learn how to do WordPress, install WordPress, do their own website, do their own graphics, do their own videos, like you're saying, and then nothing's ever happening. They're spinning around, and then they don't know why they don't make any money, because they're learning things they should not be doing. So now, Kylie, as well, I wanted to ask you, because you are such a personal brand, what, for people that are looking at stepping up and doing a little bit more self-promotion and putting themselves out there as a personal brand, do you have any advice for them on how to get started?
Yeah, I do. So here's the thing, and because I specialize in social media and predominantly in Facebook, it's like if you got a friend request from Richard Branson, or you got to like the Virgin airline page, we would gravitate towards Richard Branson as a person versus a business. And so I believe that now a personal brand, irrespective of whether you own a business or not, is so important, because we are connected to people more than we're connected to a business. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, we might go buy from Apple, but we bought from that person who sold it to us, or how Steve Jobs has inspired us. So there's always a human connected to a business. So I'm saying, well, the public are craving for you to have a personal brand. You might as well own it and be proactive and have put it out there the way you'd like to be perceived, rather than let the world perceive you the way that they want. I believe you are who Google says you are, whether that's right or wrong. And sometimes we need to Google our names and see what the perception is out there. A personal brand can be difficult to build, though, because it's like, where's Wally? We can be a whole heap of people on social media, and what do you need to do to get cut through? I think you've got to sit down and work out what your secret sauce is, Heather. You know, what is your secret herbs and spices? What makes you you? And then absolutely consistently keep replicating that. You know, for me, I did a lot of work on what's my brand essence, what's my brand DNA, and it's all about controversial, provocative, cheeky, a big personality, bold. And so I've got on my screen above in my office, what are my brand personality, what's my style, what's my persona. And so when I'm writing, or whether I'm putting up an image on social media, I'm constantly asking myself the question, is that supporting my personal brand, or is it confusing it? And it's about going conscious on everything that you're doing. Like, you know, for me, I know I'm on brand when I put up a picture at the airport the other day of me drinking coffee at the Qantas Lounge, and people were writing, what's going on? Someone's hacked Kylie's Facebook page, it's not Bubbles. And because people are used to seeing me with a glass of bubbles in my hand, or in my wrap dress, or whatever it might be. And when the public and your community start to go, you're off brand, you know you've got a brand. So I would encourage everyone to think about developing a personal brand, because at the end of the day, that's what people are buying, even if you are a spokesperson for your business. So yes, so sit down and do the exercise like you do in your own business around what's your voice, your communication strategy, what's your brand story, what's your personality, what's your tone, etc.
So basically answer those questions. Are those the 4 questions, or do you have a resource for people to go to actually do their brand persona, or something that you know?
Look, I do. There's a chapter in my book on it, but I also, it's really about, it's no different to if you're sitting down and working out, well, what is your business brand? So for me, personal brand is, you know, bold, provocative, as I said. What are my values? What do I stand for? What do I stand against? What is my communication strategy? And what are some of the colors and the visuals that actually really complement that? That's actually a good point. I should write a blog on that, like how to actually elicit your own personal brand and start to develop out a brand strategy. Yeah, it is in a chapter in my book, but I haven't got a template on it. But you've got me thinking now. Thank you for that, Heather.
I think you're so good at it. I think it would be a good thing to share with the world. My key takeaway from what you just said, I think that everybody should be doing, is sitting down and just putting a piece of paper together about what they stand for, what they don't stand for, what is their color, their look, their feel, and like you said, just stick it on the wall behind their computer, so whatever they do, they go through that as a filter first to actually stand for something. I mean, people that take a stand, that polarize, that have a strong belief, are the ones that create the movements and the tribes, and do have that brand. So
do, and it's about standing for, as you said, you don't want to be vanilla, you don't want to be bland online, you do want to polarize the market in some ways, in that they're either going to really, really love you or not like you, and that's good. You only want to work with those that do that are attracted and do like what you stand for. Like, if you look at my website, and I encourage people to go and have a look at it, I call it a hero website. So there's a hero photo, there's a hero statement. It's very much building, if you look at my website, you could kind of get a sense of what it would be like to either work with me or get to know me, because it's very strong on what I do stand for. And I believe everyone needs to have some kind of personal mothership, website, home that houses their thought leadership and houses their IP.
Well said. Now, for entrepreneurs, we often go through big ups and big downs. So what is one mantra or quote that you have lived by to keep you going through those rougher times?
Yeah, this is a good one. For me, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Honestly, there's so many times I want to abdicate responsibility for my outcomes, and I want to say it's because of the economy, or it's because of tough times, or it's because of that customer, or it's because of my computer blew up. And at the end of the day, it does come back to you and your discipline. I also have a saying around, you are who you hang with. And I know that as I've evolved and grown, that I'm craving and attracted to people who have walked in a mile in my shoes before me, because success leaves footprints. So I find that as I start to meet and network and connect with like-minded people, but also people that have grown businesses that I respect and aspire to, that it actually elevates me a lot quicker than hanging on the ground with the turkeys. As I say, I'd rather fly with the eagles, and so I'm constantly on the lookout for how can I contribute and collaborate with great like-minded people that can challenge me and take me to the next level. So there's a couple there. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I ain't going to abdicate responsibility. I'm responsible for my own outcomes. You are who you hang with is also another one that I live by. So not wanting to hang around with toxic people, and it's very easy to jump on to social media or on Facebook and procrastinate and hang out with people that we think are wonderful, but really at the end of the day, are they adding value, and are we adding value to them? And don't get distracted by that, and keep your eye on the ball.
That's one of my mantras as well. If it's going to be, it's up to me. I love that one. Now,
so true.
What do you ultimately want to be known for?
Today or in the future?
Let's do both.
Yeah. Okay. So today, my little tagline on my logo is Web Inspiration, and it's interesting. I didn't create my logo and I didn't create my tag. I put it out to my community, and I said, if you were to build me a logo and to build me a tag, what would it be? And it was a fascinating exercise to actually relinquish power and be vulnerable and hand it over to my trusted community. And the Web Inspiration came from whatever I'm doing, I want to be inspiring. I want to show people that they can achieve what they want to achieve, whether that be, me going for a run yesterday and putting a picture up of me having a juice and a jog, and that it was great to clear my mind. I want to inspire people that they can go out and do that too, whether it's in business or overcoming challenges. So definitely I love to help people that might be lacking in courage and lacking in self-esteem, that it is possible. And that I would be a great role model in that space. Longer term, Heather, to be really honest with you, when I eventually leave this earth, I'd like to leave a legacy around shifting the education system. We're trying to bring entrepreneurship and how to start a business into primary and secondary schools. I mean, my son was born an entrepreneur. He had no choice and was running his own eBay business at 8. And I think that at school we do a lot on geography and history, but where is the whole how to start your own business? And so before I exit this earth, I do want to have some kind of contribution around evolving our education system and teaching our future leaders how to be business people before they go and stumble out there and lose their way and learn when they're older. I think the best time to learn is when you're young. So to answer that question, to make a difference in education would be, for me, such an honour, and I'd be very humbled and feel very proud if that was the case.
Nice, thank you. Now, we are getting to the end of our half hour, and boy, Andrew, we just couldn't shut you up, could we? Poor guy. He's there with us in spirit, although right. I bet his spirit's a bit angrier than normal because he can't get
I can see.
So, Kylie, where can people actually find out more about you and see this great website of yours?
So people can go to www.kyliebartlett, KYLIEBARTLETT.com. On there, there's a heap of great resources. I created a couple of months ago what I call a social media road test. That it's a 60-question diagnostic tool that you can fill out, and it spits out your likelihood of succeeding or failing with social media based on a 60-question diagnostic. So that's on there for free. There's my blogs on there. I'm launching, which I'm really super excited about, on the 1st of October, SME TV, very similar to you guys having your web-based TV show. We're creating a TV show. It's going to be commercial quality produced with the view of hopefully selling it into mainstream TV. So that's a 12-week episode that goes live on the 1st of October. So, yeah, jump on my website, check it out, be looking out for SME TV. Come and hang out with me, definitely on Facebook. I'm at the Web Celeb as my business page, but all the cool stuff happens on the Kylie Bartlett personal profile. So friend me up and come and hang out, and if there's anything I can do to assist or contribute to work that you're on, I'm here to help you.
Thank you. Gosh, you certainly don't play small, do you?
No, I don't have a life. Lucky I love what I do. It's, like that whole 4-hour work week. I work 80 hours a week at learning how I can have a 4-hour work week. But I absolutely adore what I do. It's a part of my DNA, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Make It Simple. And now, everybody, we do have all of Kylie's links on makeitsimple.tv in our latest episode there. So pop on by, get to know her more, and click on those links and go hang out with her on all her beautiful places online. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Sorry, Andrew can't say goodbye this time around, so I'm saying goodbye for him. And we will talk to you in next week's episode. And because this is the Technologically Challenged show, we actually don't have a stop broadcast button. So all of us are going to hang up now to say goodbye to you, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Andrew, for the opportunity. Bye for now. See you.